All right, let's do this. Time for a deep dive into a topic that's, well, kind of always on our minds, right? Fat. We're going deep on all your requests, the Institute of Human Anatomy's video.
Fat. The good, the bad, and the truth about losing it.
That's the one. And no skimming the surface here, we're getting to those juicy insights.
And that's key. Most of us think we know fat. Calories in, calories out.
Right.
But this video, it gets way deeper. We're going full-on science here, like what fat really is in our bodies. Surprising stuff, really. And that can change how you see your health. Big time.
Absolutely. I mean, how many times have we heard fat is the enemy?
Right.
This video kind of blew my mind. Fat is crucial. It's not just sitting there.
Yeah, it's like a whole hidden world under our skin. The video, like, breaks down fat, adipose tissue, and those tiny cells, adipocytes. And this is where it gets cool. They actually, like, get bigger as we gain weight.
So like little microscopic balloons filling up?
Yeah, pretty much. Each one packed with these things called triglycerides, stored energy, basically. So we eat more calories than we burn, right? Triglycerides build up, and bam, those fat cells balloon out. But, and this is important, it's not all the same kind of fat. Location matters. Like the video really highlights that. Subcutaneous fat under the skin, and then visceral fat that's deeper around the organs.
Okay. So is that the difference between like fat on your thighs and fat, say, on your belly?
Exactly. And we tend to worry about the fat we see, but it's that visceral fat that's one that's linked to the serious stuff.
Oh, wow.
Like heart issues, diabetes, you name it. There was this image in the video, really stayed with me. A body with way too much visceral fat. You could barely even see the heart.
Oh, wow. That's a scary thought.
It is.
Okay. So too much of the wrong kind of fat is bad news. But, and the video made this point too, having some fat, that's actually important. Like being super skinny, it's not healthy either.
No, not at all. It's all about balance, right? Like too much, especially that visceral fat, that's trouble. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, all that. But too little fat messes with your hormones, big time.
Oh, wow.
Like everything, your periods, even your bone health. It's all connected.
So it's like a Goldilocks situation. We need just the right amount.
Exactly.
But, okay, besides just existing, what does fat actually, do for us? I get it stores energy, but is there more to it?
Oh, yeah, tons. This is where the video gets really interesting. 1 pound of fat, that's 3,500 calories.
Oh.
It's like, I don't know, a whole week's worth of giant pepperoni pizzas.
So basically our ancestors, they needed that to survive when food was scarce.
Yeah, exactly. And besides being an energy bank, it insulates, keeps us warm. There's like a cushion for our organs, protects them from like bumps and stuff. And get this, it even acts like an organ itself.
Really?
Produces hormones, leptin, for example.
Wait, fat is making hormones? I thought that was like the thyroid's job, glands and all that.
They do too. But fat's got a role to play. And speaking of surprising roles, have you ever heard of brown fat?
Brown fat? Is that like a bad thing, like burnt fat or something?
No, not at all. This stuff is fascinating. We think of fat as this like inert blob, but brown fat, this stuff is active. It's packed with mitochondria. And those, they burn calories to make heat instead of just storing energy.
So like our internal furnace.
Got it. Babies have more of it, helps them regulate their temperature. But we all have some. And the really exciting part, research suggests we can actually boost its activity. Things like cold exposure.
Oh, so maybe those ice bath people are onto something.
Could be. But before we all jump into freezing tubs, let's talk about the flip side. Too much fat and how it actually impacts our health.
Okay, yeah. So we've covered the good. Fat as energy backup, protection, even a hormone maker. But let's be real. Too much of it, that's where the problems start, right?
Right. And this is especially important if you're, concerned about your health. Excess fat, especially that visceral kind, it throws everything off. Like a domino effect, but in a bad way.
Wow. So it's not just about how our genes fit, it's about what's happening inside, right? What kind of problems are we talking about?
Well, for one, you can get insulin resistance. Your body doesn't use insulin efficiently, and that can lead to type 2 diabetes. It's a chronic condition. Affects how your body handles blood sugar.
Definitely want to avoid that. What else? What else can happen if we have too much fat?
Well, it can cause chronic inflammation. It's low grade, but over time it can damage your tissues, your organs. And it's been linked to like increased risk of heart disease, even some cancers, maybe even Alzheimer's.
Wow. So it's not just about like fitting into our clothes. It's about protecting ourselves from serious stuff down the road.
Absolutely. And then there's the hormones. For guys, excess fat can lower testosterone. because fat can convert testosterone into estrogen.
Oh, wow.
And that throws your hormones out of whack. Less muscle, fatigue, even mood swings.
So guys, if you're feeling off, low energy, maybe check the body fat. And ladies, we're not off the hook either.
Right. Fat is involved in estrogen production too, the main female sex hormone. But too much. That can lead to an excess of estrogen, throws things off balance, irregular periods, fertility issues, and it even increases the risk of some cancers.
Okay, so staying at a healthy body fat percentage, that's key for everyone. Men, women, it's about protecting our health long term. And that brings up the big question. How do we actually get rid of this excess fat? We've all heard about the, fat burning zone, but is that real? Does that magical zone exist?
Well, it's not quite that simple. The video really dives into this, how our bodies burn fat compared to carbs during a workout. And it turns out intensity, that's a big factor.
So are all those fitness people who talk about staying in the fat burning zone, are they wrong?
Not entirely, but it's definitely more nuanced than they make it seem.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, lower intensity, you might burn a higher percentage of fat for fuel, but you might not burn as many calories overall compared to a higher intensity workout.
So does that mean those intense HII classes, are those a waste of time? Should I just be chilling on the elliptical, staying in that fat burning zone?
Not necessarily. The key here, the big thing, is calorie deficit. That's the king when it comes to losing weight. You got to burn more than you take in. It doesn't really matter if it comes from fat or carbs.
So it's not just about what you burn during the workout, but like the total impact on your calories for the whole day.
Exactly. And don't forget, building muscle, strength training, that actually boosts your metabolism. So you burn more calories even when you're just resting.
Oh, okay.
So a mix, right? High intensity stuff, strength training, and even some moderate stuff like brisk walking, that can be a really good combo. Makes sense. You got to mix it up. But what about targeting specific areas? If I want to get rid of, say, belly fat, are crunches the answer?
Ah, the age-old question. And sadly, another myth the video busts. Spot reduction. That doesn't work. Fat loss is systemic. Your body decides where it pulls from, not you.
So all those ab exercises, all those promises to melt away belly fat, that's just wishful thinking.
Pretty much. You can strengthen those abs, which is great for core strength and all, but you can't force your body to burn fat from just that spot.
Ugh, that's annoying. But hey, at least we know the truth. So if crunches aren't the magic bullet, what is the best way to go after those stubborn areas?
Patience, honestly. And consistency. Fat loss, it takes time. Focus on that calorie deficit. Make it sustainable, through diet and exercise. And trust your body, it'll eventually let go of fat in those stubborn spots too.
Okay, marathon, not a sprint. Got it.
Yeah.
But speaking of those stubborn areas, what about all those body contouring treatments we see advertised, those non-invasive ones? Does those actually work? Can they help, get rid of fat in specific spots without surgery? Well, they use different technologies, right? Cool sculpting, laser lipo, things like that. And they can work for some people. But it's super important to do your research. Talk to a qualified provider, someone you trust, and understand, the risks and the benefit.
Right. Always got to be informed, make sure it's right for you. Okay, but before we go down that rabbit hole, let's circle back to brown fat for a sec. The video mentioned, maybe we can boost its activity with things like cold exposure. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there's a lot of research happening on this right now. And some studies, they do suggest that certain lifestyle changes, like being in cold temperatures, might actually stimulate brown fat.
So those ice bath folks, maybe they're onto something after all. I'm starting to see the appeal.
Yeah, it's kind of think about shivering, right? That's your body trying to warm up. So when you're cold, that brown fat kicks in, starts burning calories to keep you toasty.
So embracing the cold, that might actually help us burn some extra calories. That's going on my to-do list. Besides ice baths, are there other ways to, fire up that brown fat?
Exercise definitely plays a role. Any activity is good. But some research points to HII, high-intensity interval training, as being especially good at activating brown fat.
Okay, so HIIT plus a little cold exposure. Maybe that's the magic combo to get that brown fat working overtime. But what about food? Does our diet have any say in how our brown fat behaves?
That's a great question, and it's something scientists are still digging into. Early research suggests certain foods might have compounds that could activate brown fat, like spikeable peppers, green tea, things like that.
Hot sauce and green tea, two of my favorites. Maybe there is something to this whole food is medicine thing, huh?
It's definitely interesting to think about. And look, while more research is needed to, really nail down the link between diet and brown fat, we do know that eating a balanced, nutritious diet, that's crucial for overall health, including managing your weight.
Totally. Okay, so we've got brown fat, calorie deficit, exercise, and eating a good diet. But what about those stubborn pockets of fat that just won't budge, no matter how hard we work out or how clean we eat? Is there anything we can do about those?
Ah, yes, the stubborn fat. That brings us back to spot reduction, doesn't it? And unfortunately, like we talked about earlier, fat loss, it's systemic. Your body calls the shots on where the fat comes off, and we can't really control that.
So all those targeted ab exercises, the promises to melt away belly fat, that's just not real.
Yeah, pretty much. You can strengthen and tone your muscles in specific areas, but targeting fat loss, not a thing. It's like trying to empty a swimming pool by only draining like one corner.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if we can't spot reduce, what's the best way to approach those areas where the fat just won't quit?
Patience and consistency. They're your best friends, honestly. Remember, fat loss, it's a process. It takes time. Focus on creating that sustainable calorie deficit. Diet and exercise, gotta have both. And trust me, your body will eventually let go of the fat in those areas too. Just give it time.
Okay, so it's a marathon, not a sprint. Got it. But what about those non-invasive body contouring procedures, the ones we see advertised everywhere? Do those actually work? Can they get rid of fat in certain spots without, going under the knife?
That's a question for a medical professional, really. Those procedures, things like cool sculpting, laser lipo, they use tech to target and destroy fat cells. And for some folks, they can work, yeah. But it's always best to do your research. Find a provider you trust, get all the info, risks, benefits, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so not a quick fix, but an option to explore. Got it. But before we get too distracted by the shiny new gadgets, let's get back to basics for a sec. We've covered a lot of sciencey stuff about fat. But how do we actually use this knowledge, like for our everyday lives? What are some practical takeaways for our listeners who want to, improve their body composition and their health?
That's a great question. That's where the real magic happens, right? Putting it all into practice. Here are a few key things to remember.
Lay it on us.
First off, fat. It's not the villain. It's essential. We need it. It does so much for our bodies. The goal isn't to get rid of all fat, just to find that healthy balance.
Okay, got it. Finding that sweet spot. Not too much, not too little, just right. Like Goldilocks.
Exactly. Second thing, focus on that calorie deficit, but make it sustainable. It's not about starving yourself or crazy diets. It's about making small changes to your diet, your exercise, stuff you can stick with over time.
Small changes, big impact. Love it. What else?
Third, don't forget strength training. Building muscle, that helps you look toned, but it also revs up your metabolism. You burn more calories even when you're just chilling.
So lifting weights can actually help burn more fat. Sign me up.
And last but not least, sleep and stress management. Can't forget those. If you're not sleeping enough, you're stressed out, your body's pumping out cortisol, that's the stress hormone, and guess what? It can actually make you store more fat, especially around your belly.
Oh, no wonder. So getting enough sleep, finding healthy ways to chill out, that's crucial for our minds and our bodies.
It's all connected, really.
This has been, wow, seriously eye-opening. This whole deep dive into fat. We've learned about the different types, what they do, the risks of having too much, and the truth about that fat-burning zone. It's a lot to take in.
It is, and we even dug into some really cool strategies for managing body fat. Cold exposure, HIIT workouts, even the potential of certain foods. It's fascinating stuff.
It really is. There's clearly still so much to discover about fat, but I think we've given our listeners a good foundation to make smart choices about their health,
Absolutely. And remember, this whole journey, it's not about punishing yourself. It's about getting curious, being patient, and having a little self-compassion. Your body is amazing. Treat it with kindness.
Well said. We'll be back in a sec to wrap up this epic exploration of all things fat. Stay tuned.
And we're back. As we wrap up this deep dive on fat, I'm thinking our whole perspective has kind of flipped, hasn't it? We started off seeing fat as like the enemy, but now it's more like this complex, essential part of us, right? It is pretty amazing. We went from fearing fat to appreciating it. It's our energy store. It makes hormones. It insulates. It protects us.
And yeah, having too much can be a problem, but too little, that's not good either. It's all about finding that balance.
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive so cool. We've got all these strategies backed by science for managing our body fat, from diet and exercise to, like you said, maybe even using cold exposure to get that brown fat working.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. Cold exposure, it's like turning up the thermostat on our own internal furnace.
It's definitely a hot topic in research, no pun intended.
Yeah.
More studies are needed for sure, but it's a really promising area, especially for boosting metabolism, maybe even helping with weight.
So out of everything we covered, what's the one thing you hope our listeners really take away from this?
I think it's that. Knowledge is power. When we understand the science, the real deal about fat, we can bust those myths and make smarter choices for our health, for feeling good.
Totally. This deep dive, it's been a game changer for me. I hope our listeners feel the same way.
Me too. And remember, this isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about learning, being patient, and treating your body with kindness. It's amazing what our bodies can do.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, folks, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the world of fat.
Thanks for joining us.
Keep that curiosity going, keep learning. Until next time, deep divers.